Today's verse of the day. Luke chapter 1, verse 37. For with God, nothing shall be impossible. In 2026, here's what you got to do. You have to submit. Submit your faith, submit your will, submit your comfort to God and God alone. Give him your all. Give him your attention, your energy, and everything that you have in order for you to achieve and get the things that you seek. Because the things that you seek are things you've never obtained. And so in order for you to get somewhere you've never gone, you have to do things you've never done. You have to make sacrifices you've never made. You have to have a certain faith that you never had. You have to believe in something higher than yourself, because your current resources and your current situation is not going to get you the desired results that you want to get. The man above is the person that will prevail and will provide you the dream that you have envisioned for yourself. So give in to God's will and submit yourself to God's will. With that being said, let's get to the charts. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the SPY chart loaded up on the 5-minute time frame. Ticker symbol SPY. As you guys see, for Monday, we opened under our 690 level, going into 689.20, where we then saw failure. From there, we failed all the way back down to 686.8, where we then saw a reversal back above this orb low level, which is where I got my first entry on this position. We took a quick reversal play from the orb low back into the VWAP and EMA levels of 688, where we then took profits around that 687.8 to 688 level. It went a little bit further up, and then it rejected after retesting 688.4, where we then saw some continued downside come back into the market, and it ended up going back and forth between 686 and 688.5, closing out the day right around 687. So that was our play for Monday. Very good play, well executed entry after we saw that pin bar candle come in. Let's move on to Tuesday. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Tuesday charts loaded up once again on the SPY chart, ticker symbol SPY. 5-minute time frame. As you guys see here for Tuesday, we had a very tight range between 686.7 and 688.6. From this rejection level here, we took some downside puts after retesting 688.5, which was the previous day level that we failed to get back above. After getting confirmed failure here on this wick candle, we used that candle as a stop loss, got our entry here at 688.09. Look for more failure to happen. We took failure back down into the VWAP, took profits there, and then we shot through the VWAP and fell back below the orb low, going all the way down to 686.8, where we then took full profits and went a little bit lower, than it reversed and went back up, where we then saw another reversal failure later in the day at the same levels, back down to the same zone, and then it was back and forth between the orb from there. So pretty straightforward trades Monday and Tuesday. Very, very tight price action, so not too much risk going on in these trades. Given that it was going into the new year and market was going to be closed Thursday, we only had a short week, so I wasn't looking to take a lot of risk on these trades. We did, however, manage to execute well on both trades Monday and Tuesday. Let's move on to Wednesday and talk about what we did on Wednesday. And here we have the Wednesday chart loaded up on the SPY charts. Once again, as you guys see, we had some failure kick in back below this 687 level, where we then saw continued failure going back down into 685. We got a bounce from there going back into the EMA and VWAP zone. We saw some continued rejection, however, going back below these levels after failing below the 685 level. I took a position here on this retest of the orb low at 685.64. My goal was to look for a failure of 685, which we ended up getting. Shortly after the move, we moved all the way back below 684.19. I took full profits around 684.5. The play ended up retracing back up to the VWAP, and then we saw some bouncing back and forth between the low and the high. Then we went back to orb low, where we then saw continued failure later in the day. Close out the day very sharply below 684, going all the way down to 681.9. Very good cash flow and very good price action on Wednesday, right before the new year. We were able to get some selling action. pretty much all week we saw a lot of selling pressure come in, especially once we filled that 690 level. And after we broke 690, the next level to fail was 685, which we ended up failing on Wednesday. And then we saw some continued downside going back down to 681. Let's move on to Friday, since Thursday was closed for New Year's. What's going on, everybody? If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. My name is CB. I appreciate you for tuning in. Check out my website if you guys want to learn more about day trading. It's a free course on there for you guys to learn as much as you can about day trading. I will have more courses provided along the year of 2026 and so on and so forth. The website is www.continuebelief.com. There's also some ebooks on there for you guys to check out if you like. I do charge for the books. The courses are completely free. All you have to do is fill out a form and you guys will get access to the courses. Hope to see you guys there. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get back to the video. Finally, we have the Friday charts loaded up once again on the SPY chart. However, we did not just take SPY on Friday, we also took Palantir, which we'll talk about as well. Starting out with the SPY chart though, we had some very, very good price action once again after opening around the 686 level. And 685.7, we then saw a retest of 686.8, which was also the pre-market high, and also a break above the current orb high at the time. We then saw failure kick in and reclaiming this orb high level, where we then saw a sharp move downward to the orb low, getting a failure below the orb low, all the way back down into the 682 level. From there, we tried to retrace. We tried to fail 682, but couldn't fail it at the time. We then got a reversal back into the orb low, which is where I found an entry price on this trade. I looked for a retest of the orb low and the EMA levels. As you guys see here, we had 2 wicks above the orb low, but we could not close above it. My indication was, okay, if we could not close above it, then we'll just hold this level until it closes above, or if it goes lower. Sure enough, we ended up catching this downside move back down to 682, where we then failed 682 and went down to 680.4, where I then took full profits close towards to 80% profit on these trades. Very, very happy with the execution on SPY. Let's also talk about Palantir. As for our Palantir trade, we had a banger of a play. Unfortunately, we did not catch the entirety of this move, but we did catch a good move nonetheless. So for Palantir, as you guys see, we had essentially very strong weakness come into the market after failing this 181.5 level, which was a major demand level for Palantir on the daily chart. From there, we look for a entry position. After seeing very strong weakness on this chart, we looked for an entry after failing this orb low. We got a retest here. We got a test the first time and we saw that it did not fail, but then after seeing this lower low form on the second candle, I took a position here using that candle high as a stop loss, and from there we never saw it back higher. We went all the way back down to 174, where I took majority profits. We came back up for a retest, which is where I should have re-added for a continuation down. However, I used my 175 level as a stop loss just because I wanted to secure green on the beginning of the year. So we ended up missing on this entire move all the way down to 170, which was a level that I had charted already prior to this entry. And I could have held 1 or 2 contracts or something, but I chose not to. Like I said, I wanted to just secure full profits for the beginning of this year. I was not upset at my return on this trade. Trust me, we made really good money. So we did capitalize on that move. However, we did miss out on the majority of this move after failing that 170 level. We continued to go lower, all the way back down to 166.5. So very, 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 very well executed trade. We did miss out, but we did capitalize on some of this position nonetheless. Overall, very good week, even given with it being a very short week. Wednesday and Friday were very well price action plays. The price action on those days were moving really, really well. We had some very large movement on those days, which allowed for opportunity to present itself on those kind of days, those are days that are typically easier for trading, especially when you have, you know, your choppy days or your days that are very slow. It's typically due to low volume and it being a holiday season like it was these last 2 weeks. So very, very happy with the execution going into the beginning of this year. Now let's move on and talk about what we can expect to see happen in the market next week. All right, ladies and gents, here we have the 4-hour time frame loaded up on the SPY chart, ticker symbol SPY. As you guys see here, we had major selling come in after failing this 691.6 level, coming all the way back down this week to 679.81, essentially 680. So what are our levels we want to see hold and fail next week. Our levels to watch going into next week are going to be 680 and 685, depending upon where we open at going into Monday. As long as we're holding above 685, we can still see upside. However, if we fail 680, we can see lower back down into 675, and if we fail 675, we can see back down into 670. If we get back above 685, however, we can see a retest of 690, and if we get a break above 690, we can see a possible push back towards 692. If we can break above 692, we can then be off for the races and see upside and new all-time highs. So the main levels to watch going into Monday are going to be 680 and 685. If you guys are trading SPY, make sure to trade safely, use your risk management, trade wisely. And with that being said, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on notification bell for more videos. Also tune into our Rich Off Gains podcast, which releases every Monday. Our next episode will be coming out tomorrow, so I will see you guys then. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Happy New Year's, be safe, and I'll see you guys next time.